Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to all the Akim out here teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity, to the men, women, and children listening and learning, and to the Bayash Dabbadah, the house of David. This is Men of Valid Las Vegas Camp, coming to you through the will and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right? To go ahead and proclaim this and prophesy this downfall of this queendom, all right, which you know as aka America, aka Babylon, aka Sodom and Gomorrah, aka Rome 2.0, aka Egypt, all right, because this is our place of our captivity and our bondage, all right. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into these scriptures. John 21.
Look at John 21:15. Says, so when they had dined, Yahweh Shai saith to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my lambs. He saith to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my sheep. He saith unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved, because he said unto him the third time, Lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Yahweh Shai saith unto him, Feed my sheep.
God. So Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai asked his disciple Peter, all right, and said, Lovest thou me? He asked him 3 times, all right, asked him 3 times to make sure, all right, to make sure that he was given a true account, all right, letting him know his truth and his honesty for the love of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, all right. But what was his commandment? His commandment was feed his sheep, all right, feed his sheep, feed his flock. All right, and his flock would be you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans whose father's line goes back. All right, your true heritage, your biblical heritage is the Israelites. All right, so your bloodline, if your father's line goes back to a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American, salvation belongeth unto you. All right, in your nation. All right, but only 2/3 of our nation are going to make it out. All right, because Salakia, 1/3 of our nation is going to make it out, and 2/3 are going to be destroyed. All right, 2/3 of our own nation will be destroyed for the disobedience. All right, for adhering to the law, statutes, and commandments of Esau, Edom, which is the so-called white man. All right, being a part of the system and continuing to be in a low estate, envying thy oppressor. All right, wanting to be equal and be on one accord with this whole messed up system. All right, trying to live your best life. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and prove everything through scripture. All right, and show you that you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans whose father's line goes back, all right, you are the biblical children of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. You are the promise. The promise belongeth unto you, unto the nation. But on this go around, it'd only be the 1/3.
First Peter 5:2, it says, Feed the flock of God Yahweh, which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind, neither as being lords over God Yahweh's heritage, but being in samples to the flock. And when,
go ahead.
And when the chief shepherd shall appear, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away.
Hey, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, you have a responsibility. All right, 1/3, Salakia, the 144,000 of the multitude of 1/3 have a responsibility to call out unto all of Israel. All right, all of Israel. So 2/3 will get their judgment, and the multitude of the 1/3 will get their exemption letter. All right, through the will and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, it is not to be glorified over another. All right, but to bring us back into order, because the law, statutes, and commandments were set up for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans whose father's line goes back. All right.
Romans 9:4 reads, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of the Most High and the promises.
God. It said, who are Israelites? All right. So that goes to show you that the promise and the covenants are laws, statutes, and commandments. All right. As that old movie, The 10 Commandments, that the whole world pretty much knows, and everybody wants to be a part of. All right. And those issues want to place themselves with it. All right. But it belongs unto the children of Israel. All right. It didn't say the children of the Ishes. All right. Jewish. It said the children of Israel. All right. Letting you know and giving you a complete distinction. All right. Because Ish is something like. All right.
Book of Psalms. Book of Psalms 147:19. Since he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
God, he shows his word and his judgment unto Jacob. Jacob is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, whose father's line goes back. All right, because it is through the father's seed that the nation is preserved. Okay, that's why we always put an emphasis. If your father's line goes back to a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American, you are the children of Israel. If not, then you're of a heathen nation. All right, and we're here to give you your judgment, but at the same time, we're not worried about you. All right, right now we're nation building. We're building our nation back up to be the rulers of this entire planet and this entire universe. All right, under Yahweh Bashim Yahushai.
Verse 20. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
God, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai said he hasn't dealt so with any nation, any other nation. So if you're not of the nation of Israel, it does not fucking matter. All right, you are counted worthless. All right, you can take it how you want to take it, but you're counted as nothing. All right, the Bible tells you you're unto spittle. All right, and if you, hey, don't take my word for it, look it up. Look it up in the Bible and see what Yahweh Bashim Yahushai thinks about these other nations. All right, if you're not of the nation of Israel, if you're not a part of his nation, all right, it is a selection that is given by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai for his people, his nation, who have been beaten down, trodden down, and treated like the scum of the earth. Con, you can get it. It's lucky I got that beat flying around. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 56. As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing. I can read that from the top of the speaker. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 56. As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falls from a vessel. All right? So, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai said, all the other nations be unto spittle. All right? Likened you unto a drop from a bucket. All right? Insignificant to his ultimate plan. All right, his ultimate plan is to have his people rule. All right, and keep this whole entire universe in order. But first and foremost, the center of the universe, which is this planet. All right, as you know, the earth, our our physical world. All right.
Romans 9 and verse 7. Sorry, Romans 9 and 6 says, not as though the word of the Most High hath taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
God, because we know our forefathers are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, but Jacob and Esau, all right, which is the so-called white man, did come from Slakia, did come from Isaac. All right.
Read down one more, verse 8. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of the Most High, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed.
God, the children of the promise, and the promise was given to who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. Esau was excluded. All right. He was excluded because he didn't cherish the blessing that he was given. All right. And ultimately he was fit for destruction. All right. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai had him fit for destruction. All right. God.
This is 2nd Esdras 6 and 8 and 9. This is 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau was born of him, Jacob's hand held the first of the hill of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
All right. For Esau is the beginning of the world, and Jacob is that followeth. It's like it. End of the world. End of the world. And Jacob, all right, his world is coming. All right. The world that is coming is through the law, statutes, and commandments. All right. It's through the obedience of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. It's through these prophecies. All right. It's through ultimately the destruction of this whole entire fucked up system. All right. On a global scale.
You see, that this world is, is fading away. And it's so the wickedness is amping up so much that it's hurting the people that even set it up. This you're starting to have those famines, the uprisings, the monetary system's going down. It seems like the people that Babylon the Great, who was in who had the most control, they losing their power seat. America's losing their power seat right now. You got the Russians and all these other nations trying to take in because they believe that this world's going to continue. They don't believe in the prophecies in this book are gonna pass. See, but our faith, and this book tells them different. You want to stay in Children of Israel?
Yeah, we're gonna.
This is Amos 3 and verse 2. 3 and 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
God, yeah, how about Shimei Shai said, for you only have I known. Out of all the families that are on the planet, all right, out of all these people that are on this planet, he only knows a particular people, a particular special treasure, all right, and that is the nation of Israel, all right? Matter of fact, go ahead and pull Exodus 19.
You find that up with Psalms 147.
God.
He shows he shows his statutes and judgments to Jacob, and it is judgments unto Israel. So that's and only the elect, right now has the understanding of the judgment. That's why the 2/3, is so bugged out, discombobulated in a state of derision or delusion, confusion. That because Babylon, Babel means confusion. You know, and they're under this man's system, you know, who just confuses them more. They don't know which way is up, which way is down, what's right and wrong.
God.
You know, you know, in Esau's world, he turns the sweet into bitter, you know, and bitter for sweet.
Right.
You know, he condemneth the just and justified the wicked. You know, or justify the wicked. You know, so he got this whole place, you know, shit backwards. You know, and you can see that the foundations, you know, are starting to crumble.
God. All right. That's this queendom. All right. This is what happens when you have poor management. All right. And this is the ultimate poor management. This is the base man. All right. This is the base man in his system along with the woman. All right. That's why it's a queendom. All right. That's why you have so much woman worship here. All right. A woman is not supposed to sub authority over a man. That's not natural. All right. It is a curse. It is a curse for your wife to tell you what to do. All right. It is a curse for a woman to be in a position of power. All right. The only power she's supposed to have is over the children. All right. And over your son only until he gets of the age of a young man. Then she has to follow his direction because he's standing in the stead of his father.
Right. You know, Jake would say that, you know, the woman is or the black god is woman, you know.
Right.
And that's, you know, highly contrary to everything that is in this book. And that philosophy goes into Esau's philosophy today. And who made that Egyptology? You know, the foundation of Egyptology was made by the Germans.
God.
And so, and all the other idiocracy, the dumb things that come out of that fiction, man.
God.
That fictitious religion.
Right.
Or belief, philosophy, you know, the vain deceits.
All right, go ahead.
Esdras 19:3. And Moses went up to the power, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushua called unto him out of the mountain, saying, This shall they say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you eagle wings and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my commandments, and you shall be a particular treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
God. So Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai said we should be a particular, all right, treasure unto him. All right. He brought us unto himself. All right. Brought us unto himself, that is possessive. All right. So he possesses us. All right. He has his nation in thought, in mind, in hand. All right. You got another pre?
Yeah.
You got a pre?
This is Colossians 1 and let's see where to start. Start in 1 and 15. It says, who is the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature? For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him.
God. All things were created by him and for him. All right. All things were created by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right.
Just to add on, like, so if the Israelites are his chosen people, what makes you think that he's not going to have them prevail in the end?
God.
Right? What makes you think that through all the suffering and affliction that the Lord has set up to bring us back into rulership, thinks that you could prolong that any more than it's already supposed to be? Okay, you and Esau know that he had that he getting closer to losing his place and going back in to the bottom of the heathen chart.
God.
You know. Let me continue on there. Verse 18. or sorry, verse 17 says, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have the preeminence. It says, for it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell. And that's talking about Yahweh Shai. Because he's the forefront of this whole thing. Yahweh Shai is making all this stuff happen.
God, he was the progenitor. All right, because everything that happens physically has happened spiritually already. All right.
Right, it has to go through him.
God.
That's why these other camps and stuff, they preaching like they could bring back Jacob into rulership by themselves. Just by preaching the word, and that's all false. We have to wait on our salvation, which is Yahweh Shai, to take back that rulership, because he's going to lead us there, right? He's going to set the stages, and fulfill those prophecies. We're not in a powerful enough state physically right now to do it on our own.
Right.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 2, verse 1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine. Verse 2, that the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, in patience. The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of the power be not blasphemed. Young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded, in all things showing thyself a pattern of good works, in doctrine showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity.
Yahweh Shai is about order. All right, it's all about order. It's all about everybody being in their place and everybody fulfilling their lot. All right, if you be of a heathen nation, hey, you're in your lot. You be servant to unto Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai's nation. All right, you serve them. All right. You serve the Israelites, all right, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, all right, man, that father's line goes back, all right, including the women who's of that nation, all right, you will serve them, all right. My Bible said that. Yeah, I think is it 37?
Which one?
11 and 5.
The Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11 and verse 5. It says, for by what things their enemies were punished, by the same they are in need.
Go down.
Instead of the perpetual burning forever. What is
Salakia. Hopefully. 7. Salakia. Yeah, you can pull out some.
Psalms 110 and 3 says, thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning thou hast the dew of thy youth.
People shall be willing in the day of thy power. All right, you should be willing in the day that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai cracks those clouds. All right, you should be willing in the day when Jacob's trouble comes. All right, and you think upon the word to the best of your ability. Seeing the men out on the highways and byways, they were prophesying, preaching, and calling you and bidding you unto the marriage. All right, but you did not hearken. All right, so being that you didn't hearken or listen, all right, you will have to go through Jacob's trouble. All right, everybody will go through Jacob's trouble, but hey, you might very well die. All right, and it excludes no one. All right, nobody gets out of Jacob's trouble. Nobody. All right, unless you were dead already. All right, you're not escaping Jacob's trouble.
When the other people, when everybody sees the power that comes upon the elect, they're not gonna have a morsel in their body, try to fight or go or rise against it,
Yeah.
so that in the morning they should have the dew of their youth, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna be some of the elect that 50, 60 plus years old, they're gonna be strong as they were, or stronger than they were in their 20s.
Hey, they will have supernatural strength. All right, supernatural strength. Because when you read the Bible, all right, you don't take into the account of the spirit. All right, you take into account your carnal mind. All right, you don't take into account that the spirit is above your carnal mind and above your physical body. Okay, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is the father of spirits. All right.
And in Jeremiah, it say, in the latter days they shall consider it. That's gonna be, when they're gonna take in, and they gonna believe in this word, when it's happening. The majority of them. By them, it's gonna be too late.
God, I got a precept. This is the book of Mark, chapter 4, and verse 22. For there is nothing hid which shall not be manifest, neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad. All right. This word will become a manifestation as it already has been. All right. How long have brothers been out on the highways and byways, all right, preaching and prophesying, telling you that the fall of this kingdom is coming? All right, telling you about World War III, telling about the New World Order. All right, telling about the MOTB. This is nothing new. The difference is this message is getting is becoming louder, speaking clearer.
That's because prophecies are turning up.
God.
So now people are seeing, they're seeing these things happen. Now they're starting to get, their spirit's starting to wake up even more, even if they're not, full believers.
God.
That's why you got other nations, people outside of the nations, a lot of children, men, prophesying, having them dreams. Dreams of Jacob's trouble, dreams of Yahweh Shai coming back. Little zombie zombie dreams.
Zombie apocalypse.
You seen what's happening, what happened out in Mexico, where all them birds just dropped dead. I'm pretty sure that's linked to something that these devils been putting out. Been trying to roll out.
God.
Linked to your phones.
Hey.
That wavelength.
God, I'm gonna read this again. Once again, this is the book of Mark, and I'm gonna read down chapter 4 and verse 22. For there is nothing hid which shall not be manifest, neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad. If any man have ear to hear, let him hear. And he said unto them, take heed what ye hear, with that measure ye meet. Slack it, measure thee meet. It shall be manifest. Slack it. Slack it. It shall be measured to you, and unto you that hear shall more be given. All right. And that giving is giving the more understanding. That's why certain of you Jakes are starting to understand more and more. You're seeing, hey, everybody is seeing these prophecies starting to gear up. All right. But not everybody's going to understand. Everybody sees them. Some disregard, and some continue. Some start clinging on to the faith. All right, knowing and understanding that this is a time like never before. All right. You've seen in the movies back in the day, the guy holding up the sign, the end of the world and everything. Hey, how many times they're gonna have in the movie, or how many times somebody gonna be out there until the end is actually manifested? All right. There is always a beginning and an end to something. You think it's not in your lifetime, but the signs tell you otherwise.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 16, verse 16. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believeth not shall be damned. Verse 17. And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues. Verse 18. They shall take up serpents. And if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover.
Read that last part again. Cast out devils. All right.
Verse 18. They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover.
Hey, that's a manifestation of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua showing the power. All right. Once again, when you read this book, you read it with a carnal mind. You don't understand that this would be a so-called superpowers. All right. You would be a so-called comic book wise, you would be a mutant. All right. You would be different. Or a meta-human. All right. But there is no technology needed. All right. We don't need to split the atom and become like the Flash. All right. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua has your bloodline. All right. It is a blood connection. It is a bloodline that has that right, that holds the codes to the universe. All right. Through the will and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. The measure of melanin that you have. If you're a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American. All right. It is a part of your blessing.
Go. Wisdom of Solomon 11:7 says, for a manifest reproof of that commandment, whereby the infants were slain, thou gavest unto them abundance of water by a means which they hoped not for, declaring by that thirst, then how thou hast punished their adversaries. For when they tried, albeit, but in mercy chastised. They knew how the ungodly were judged in wrath and tormented, thirsting in another manner than the just.
All right. So we thirst. All right. We thirst after Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. All right. Because we were disobedient unto the very covenant. All right. The covenant that was given to the nation of Israel. All right. So we had no cover, no protection. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua placed us in a low estate. All right. Matter of fact, to prove that, go to the book of Deuteronomy for me. Deuteronomy 11, or is it 12? Yeah, 11 and 26.
Deuteronomy 11 and 26. Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. A blessing if you obey the commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, your power, which I commanded you this day. And a curse if you will not obey the commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, your power, but turn aside out of the way which I commanded you this day, and go after other gods, which ye have not known.
So what we did is we disobeyed. All right, we disobeyed and broke the covenant. Basically, as soon as we entered into it, we end up breaking. All right, but Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, it was once again a clause in the contract. All right, this will happen to you if you do this. All right, you will ultimately come back. All right, and it'll be 1/3 of you. All right, the 144,000 elect men will help govern the entire universe under the will and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, the 1/3 of the nation of Israel will be chosen for salvation, but 2/3 will perish. Okay, go ahead and go back. Replies.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 11, verse 9. For when they were tried, albeit but in mercy chastised, they knew how the ungodly were judged in the wrath, and tormented thirsting in another manner than the just. For these thou didst admonish and try as a father, but the other as a severe king thou didst condemn and punish.
God. So as a father chastises a child. All right. Does not the Bible talk about how the father chastised the child? All right. God.
Hebrews 12:6 says, "For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth."
Hey, ultimately, that's the 144,000 elect men. All right, and the multitude of the 1/3.
If ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For wedded son is he whom the Father chasteneth not. It says, but if ye be without chastisement, whereof all partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons.
God. Hey, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is chastising first and foremost. He chastised Yahushai. All right. After he chastised Yahushai, he chastised the 144,000 elect men. Then the multitude of the 1/3. All right. After those elect men, then the multitude of the 1/3, and then the entire nation of Israel. All right. It wasn't just the 1/3. It wasn't just the 1/3 that took the covenant. Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Brakatav. All right. It wasn't just the 1/3 that took the covenant. All right. It was the nation of Israel in its entirety that took the covenant. So all of the nation of Israel will be chastised. All right. And that's unto the speckled bird as well. All right. That's the so-called, that's the person that so-called looks like the so-called white man, so-called Chinese man, so-called Arabic man, but his father's seed, the father's line goes back to a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American male. All right, he's of the nation of Israel. All right, so he's going to receive that same ass whooping. Nine times out of 10, he's still in the same conditions.
Oh. Hebrews 12:9 says, furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live?
God, hey, the Father of spirits. All right. So that means, hey, what do they say in the world? Oh, everything's got a spirit. Buddhism, everything has a spirit. The rock has a spirit. The tree has a spirit. All right. He is the Father of spirits. All right. If you want to take it to your false your false doctrine or whatever, whatnot. You cannot get around the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. If everything has a spirit, that means it belongs to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai.
Conscious community talk about the vibration. Everything, physical has a vibration.
Right. So, hey, vibration. Okay, vibration is nothing but a spirit. All right, a frequency.
Spirit make you move.
Right. Hey, when you listen to certain music, that's an enchantment.
The difference is, y'all dealing with demons.
Sorcery.
Time.
On the left-hand side.
Right. That's all on the left-hand side, right? The spirit of this word, the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that's what leads to true growth, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
And that's on the right-hand side. All right, because Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is about duality. Do you not have two hands? All right, are supposed to have two hands, rather? 2 feet, 2 eyes? All right, hot and cold, man and woman. All right. God.
Hebrews 12:10 says, "For they verily for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness."
God. It is for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's prophet that we go through our hell. All right, that we go through our hell.
His prophet, is our prophet. Because he's, purging us of, the nation of whole, the whole nation of Israel. He's purging that wicked seed out. He's purging that house of Saul, the fuck out of Israel. He's Palo Santo, putting Palo Santos, through the whole nation and getting rid of the wicked.
God, that's right. Why you don't want the smoke, but you're gonna get the smoke anyway. All right, you're getting that Palo Santos smoke.
He's doing it through the righteous too, because that 1/3, the tabernacle of David, are the only ones that are going to be saved, right? So there's going to be, think about the most destruction is going to come to his people first and foremost. It's saying 1 Peter 4:17, the house of first judgment will come upon the house of God Yahweh.
God. Right?
Oh, I have one more.
You got one more on that, right?
It says, now, verse 11, now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby.
God. Hey, that peaceable fruit of righteousness. All right? After you, it's like a parent. After a parent whoops your ass, all right, when you were a little kid and you used to get ass whoopings, all right, when your mom or dad used to say, "Hey, this hurts me more than it hurts you," all right, and in your mind you were like, "Yeah, right," I'm the one who's getting the whooping, all right. But at the end, in the manifestation of this thing, the entire nation of Israel will be perfect. All right, will adhere to the law, statutes, and commandments that is written in their hearts, in their mind. We'll never have to go off again. We'll never have another heathen nation above them. All right? Your women will be in order. Your children won't talk back. All right? Hey, for you women, you'll never have to worry about anything again. You get to live comfortably. All right, for an eternity, if you belong unto the nation of Israel. All right, you get to lounge, lay, love, and make love. All right, it is a vacation. It's a vacation of obedience.
All right, going back to that analogy we was talking about, with the child, the parent whooping on the child, they say, "I'm doing this, for the benefit of you," right?
Yeah.
And then, years later, that child, isn't a deadbeat on the street or getting into, gang shit. And what do the aunties or friends of the parents, they praise the parent,
God,
saying, oh, what a fine man or woman you raised,
God. Hey,
But without that chastisement, they just gonna be that deadbeat, or they gonna be a hoe. They gonna be for the streets.
God. Hey, I appreciate every ass whooping that I have ever received. All right. Any ass whooping that I've ever received through my parents kept me out of trouble. All right. There was a lesson to be learned. All right. How much more being subject unto Yahweh, the Father of spirits, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. And receiving that ass whooping. All right. And your ass whooping comes in trials, whether it be financial, whether it be mental, whether it be physical. All right. Whether it be all of them together.
Where little Johnny from down the block, at right now, whose parents never or let him get away with everything that he wanted to do, he might not even be around them.
God.
This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 5, verse 1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Verse 2, but iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. Verse 3, and the land that thou seest now to have root shalt thou see wasted suddenly.
God, and this land will be wasted suddenly. All right? Because there was no truth in the land for many years. All right? For many years. But in 1969, all right, Abba Bivens, all right, started preaching and proclaiming the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, waking up the nation. All right, starting with Judah first, because that is the head tribe. All right, with you so-called Negroes. All right. The word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai started to move out through the earth in its entirety, in its abundance. All right. Then in 2007, July of 2007, the word, all right, the word got its line casted. All right. Now you have fishermen. All right. You have a multitude of fishermen casting nets day and night, casting nets. All right, calling out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, proclaiming and professing the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, it is this very thing that has changed the fabric of this world and made this kingdom, all right, the manifestation of this kingdom start to crumble. All right, starting with Apostle Tahar on down. All glory be to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for living in these times, for witnessing and watching our enemies fall. These other nations starting to have, matter of fact, Deuteronomy 29:7.
Deuteronomy 29:7. And when you come unto this place, Shimon on the king of Hashbon.
I know it's 20 or is it 30? Hold on. Salakia. It's right here. It is Deuteronomy. Salakia. Salakia. Deuteronomy 30:7.
Deuteronomy 30:7. And Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that power will put all these curses upon the enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
God. Yahweh Shem Shai is going to put all these curses upon our enemies. All right. So these other nations who were in league with Esau, Edom. All right. Psalms 83. All right. They were on one accord. Matter of fact, go ahead and pull Psalms 83. Start at 3. You can still hold on. Yeah.
Psalms 83 and 3. They have taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted against the hidden ones.
Have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. All right. All these other nations outside of the nation of Israel, all right, go ahead and continue that, have tried to keep us down. Why? And it's going to continue to tell you why.
Psalms 83 and 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more of remembrance.
So the nation of Israel be no more in remembrance. All right. So you wouldn't know who you are. That's why you're a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American. All right. That's why you're that byword. All right. So you can't have a heritage, as if your heritage started from the moment that you got on the slave ships. All right. Like you weren't in existence before then, before you became a cargo.
That's why, that's why Esau don't go over the dark ages in schools,
God.
because that's when, the Jake was in power.
God.
And their history start when? Usually right after that.
Right.
They don't let you see when they was in the Caucasus Mountains.
And who put him there? All right. Hey, that's once again, is hidden.
They teach about all these other rulerships, but not let you know about Jake. They let you know about when they had their foot on our neck,
Hey,
and the affliction that they did.
Con.
They show you a little bit about the Trail of Tears.
Hey, they'll let you know about Martin Luther King.
But that stopped at Thanksgiving though.
God.
And then they try to.
Hey, we were at peace at that time. They forgave us and everything. And then we started living peacefully.
Right.
Then everything was cool.
Just saying, but they don't tell you about what's his name, Andrew Jackson going over there and marking all those Gadites.
God. Hey.
And Reubenites.
They don't tell you about what is they don't tell you about Rosewood. All right. They don't tell you about all the things, the many atrocities that they have done and committed. They don't really tell you about Nat Turner. All right. They don't want you to have in your mind that, hey, something is up with this whole situation. All right. There's something wrong, and that's why there's uprising. All right. God.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 37, starting at verse 13. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he saith that his day is coming. Verse 14, the wicked have drawn out the sword, and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. Verse 15, their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bow shall be broken.
God. All right. That enemy sword shall be broken. All right. It shall enter in their own heart, which is their mind. All right. For the atrocities and everything that they have committed throughout time. All right. Especially since the foundation of this wonderful place, this wonderful queendom, living here in Sin City. Who would fucking have a queendom and have a Sin City in it? Why is sin prosperous in your fucking queendom? All right. Sin would be to rebel against your system. Do you see the correlation? All right. But hey, there's that Aleister Crowley spirit. do as thy will. If it was truly do as thy will, why do you have laws? Why do you have all this shit set up? Why do you got traffic tickets? Why do you got stoplights? All right? Because you know that there's a certain amount of order that's needed. But the order that you have is an abomination unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Your whole system is an abomination. Your whole legislative system is an abomination. Right? Everything that you touch is defiled and disgusting. We are yet this day in our captivity. And Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, Yahweh is sending Yahushai to deliver us out of our captivity. Y'all devils got something coming to you. All right? And nothing's going to happen until the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai goes forth, until these prophecies pop off exactly as they're planned. And guess what? Everything is right on time and right on plan. Everything's going according to plan. All right? You take this speech how you want to take it. All right? I gotta, you pulling something? Oh, I got this first. All right. This book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 14 and verse 34. Therefore, if so, be that ye will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. All right. So if you will adhere to the law, statutes, and commandments and get out of this queendom mindset, all right, this Aleister Crowley spirit, do as thy will. All right. I'm gonna be the best tap shoeing coon I can be. If you can get out of the spirit of, hey, everybody can get along. We're not all meant to get along. All right? If at all possible, live peaceably with all men. All right? But the devil has a perpetual hatred for you. All right? Hey, if there is so funny how everything can be considered going against the grain. All right? And it's only going against the grain because it's not what the parties want to hear that are in power. As the brother said earlier, putting righteousness for evil and evil for righteousness. Roughly paraphrasing. Right? You have to get out of this mentality of this world is going to continue. All right, that this system of America, all right, is going to continue in its entirety. That everybody loves America. All right, that is being shown plainly around the world. That everybody does it. You have there's a righteous recompense coming to this nation. All right, through the will and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You will be judged for your atrocities.
This is 2nd Esdras.
And Salakia, we're not going to judge you because we don't have the power. All right? But we will wait upon Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai.
2nd Esdras 14 and verse 14 says, let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature.
God, put off that weak nature. Put off the nature of, you know, if I'm just gonna play along to get along. You know, I'm just hey, if I do this, they'll leave me alone. If I comply to this, I can get by. This isn't a Talib Kweli song. You want to live just to get by? I want to live as I'm meant to, as our nation is meant to, through the will and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. The only, The only servitude I want to be servant unto is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. The nation in order with peace, love, and sincerity. All right? We want our nation to be on one accord. Every man, woman, and child, we want them to see the same thing, to speak the same thing, to praise the same power.
So there's no confusion. You know,
That
confusion is going to be done away with.
God, where we're not in Babel anymore. Not in Babylon, not in America. All right, in that American state of mind. That Aleister Crowley spirit of do as thy will.
Here you gotta say, you gotta always, tiptoe around the point.
God.
You know,
instead of letting your nay be nay and your yea be yea. Roughly paraphrasing the scripture.
So we're coming out of that mindset, and becoming, austere men. We're taking that stand. Girding up thy loins, and prophesying against Mount Seir. For the restoration of our people. The restoration of righteousness.
This is the book of Job, chapter 8, starting at verse 2. How long wilt thou speak these things, and how long shall the words out of thy mouth be like a strong wind? Doeth the power pervert judgment, or doeth the Almighty pervert justice? If thy children have sinned against him, and he have cast them away for their transgression, if thou wouldest seek unto the power before times, and make thy supplication to the Almighty, if thou wert pure and upright, surely now he would awake for thee, and make the habitation of thy righteousness prosperous. Verse 7, though thy beginning was small, yet thy latter end shall greatly increase.
Hey, though thy beginning was small, we shall increase. All right? Hey, matter of fact, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 1. Love righteousness. Just like it. Love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai, with a good heart. And in simplicity of heart, seek him. All right? It is to seek Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Seek who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ. All right? Yahweh being the Father's name and Yahushai being the Son's name. All right? The true names.
Verse 8, for inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. For we are but of yesterday, and know nothing, because our days upon earth are a shadow.
Days are upon earth as a shadow. All right? There's nothing new under the sun. All right? But our days on earth are as a shadow. We've been here before, but we don't remember. All right? Or else we'd be bugged out. We'd be bugged out from the way that we've been judged in the past. All right? Whether you were decapitated, whether you were ran through, all right? Man, woman, and child, hey, it doesn't matter. You'd be bugged out. Right? You got with you something still?
Yeah.
You got it. 3 seconds.
Yeah, I know.
No. I think you were starting 9. All right.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 11 and 11. It says, whether they were absent or present, they were vexed alike. For a double grief came upon them, and the groaning for the remembrance of things past.
God, we groan for the remembrance of the things past. We groan to remember the law, statutes, and commandments of our Father, the way of our forefathers, the way of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. We groan to be in order because at one point in time we were in order. All right. And you know we were in order. Why? Because we were chosen by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai as a particular peculiar treasure unto himself. All right. He has an elect. So that means the elect has always had an order in his inheritance. All right.
This is Jude 1:5 says, I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believe not.
God. He said, I will put you in remembrance.
Hey, this is that remembrance of captivity right now.
God.
You know, but also the remembrance of coming back, you know, to being the chosen seed.
God. Hey, we remember that we were in captivity then. We remember why we're in captivity now. And now we're starting to remember how to get out of captivity. All right. These are the conditions to leave captivity. God.
I feel like I've done this.
Right.
No.
God.
Wisdom of Solomon 11 and 12, it says, for a double grief came upon them, and a groaning for the remembrance of things past, for when they heard by their own punishments the other to be benefited, they had some feelings of the Lord.
Huh. They had some feelings. All right. And what are you feeling? All right. You feeling like you're sick of this captivity. You feeling, hey, if you be of Abaratza, if you be of the Bayashadabadat, the house of David, you're feeling the groans of this. All right. You're feeling this wickedness in this world, and you ain't vibing with it. All right. Because it's contrary to your existence. All right. If you were of the world would accept you. But we're not of this world. All right. We're adverse to this world. I think Darash is pulling it.
Which is going? No.
All right. Slocky, I thought you had.
Said wise man.
I think if you read down, it goes in. Actually.
Verse 14, Wisdom of Solomon 11 and 14, for whom they rejected with scorn, when he was long before thrown out at the casting forth of the infants, him in the end, when they saw what came to pass, they admired. But the foolish devices of their wickedness, wherewith being deceived, they worship serpents, void of reason, and vile beasts, thou didst send a multitude of unreasonable beasts upon them for vengeance. That they, you want me to continue?
Yeah, continue. I think it's 2 more verses.
That they might know that wherewithal a man sinneth, by the same also shall he be punished. For the almighty hand that made the world of matter without form wanted not means to send among a multitude of bears or fierce lions or unknown wild beasts full of rage, newly created, breathing out a fiery vapor or filthy sense of scattered smoke or shooting horrible sparkles out of their eyes.
God, should have stopped one else.
Okay.
Slocky about that. That was my fault. But hey, it's through the multitude of knowing knowing where we went off, understanding where we went off, and the vexation that we have to endure. All right, you, as the brother read, all right, these the multitude of diverse beasts, the multitude of wickedness that we partook in, all right, and that was done to us. All right, what we partook in, and those ones who did unto us have to answer for that. As in, I think it was verse 13 where they says basically, you know, they have to answer for that. Was it verse 13 or 14?
Okay, yeah, verse 13. It says 11 and 13. So like Wisdom of Solomon 11 and 13. For when they heard by their own punishments the other to be benefited, they had some feeling of the Lord.
God. All right, and we had to go through it. All right, ultimately to understand righteousness. All right, to be judges. All right, of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, to judge accordingly in His kingdom.
Right. Ecclesiastes 1 and 18 says, "For in much wisdom and grief, and he that is much grief, Sakya. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow."
God. For he that increases knowledge increases sorrow. All right. It may feel, you may feel sorrowful from for having the law, statutes, and commandments and having to go out in the highways and byways to preach it. All right. But if you're in that spirit, ultimately you're not of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. If you're feeling so sorry for it. All right.
Going back to 1 Peter 5 and 2.
God.
You know, to feed the flock willingly. You know, should be a high point of your day. You know?
God. To proclaim the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, to proclaim His laws, statutes, and commandments, and His judgments.
Doing the work, you know, should be a joy, you know, to the prophets. You know, that's why you see so many, you know, brothers that are on fire do so many videos. You know, some brothers doing 4 or 5 videos a day.
God, hey,
you know, getting this word out.
Right, and it's in the measure of what Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai gives you. All right, but doing it with truth, sincerity, and honesty. All right, is a blessing from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Not speaking of filthy lucre's sake. All right, not being a false prophet.
I'm trying to, you know, do this for your benefit. You know,
right.
trying to still come up in this world.
Right.
Not doing this for a rap video or content. You know.
All right. Not doing it for a 501(c)(3)
to get your name out there. You know.
All right. Hey, proclaiming the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, saying that the book in its entirety, from the Old Testament to the Apocrypha and the New Testament. All right, the book in its entirety, excluding no one. All right, not excluding Mark. All right, not excluding John the Baptist. All right, taking nothing from the book or adding nothing to it. Using discernment of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, all right, and doing everything that is commanded you, doing everything that is commanded for you to do. All right, within your measure.
This is Proverbs 30 and 13. So again, 12, it says, "There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness. There is a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up." God. It says that, verse 12, it says, "There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness."
There's a generation that is pure in their own eyes. All right. Hey, and that's the house of Saul, ultimately.
Right.
All right.
Thinking that they're good, you know. Hey.
Hey, did roughly paraphrasing scripture? Didn't it say Satan transformed his angels unto light? All right. Don't forget that Satan knows the word too. All right. He uses it in deception. All right. He uses it so you can lean upon your own understanding, which is adverse to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai said, lean not upon thy own understanding, but willing, once again, willing to be taught. All right. Willing to subdue your heart. All right. Block it. All right. Hey, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and his heart is turned away from his maker. All right. Let me read that again. This is book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from Yahweh, and his heart is turned away from his maker. All right. So when you start speaking and leaning upon your own understanding, all right, that's your pride. That's you putting yourself above Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. What's the that? Let's go MOTB right quick. And just start off at 15. Hey, there's ultimately something that's coming, all right, that you see on a global scale being pushed. All right. This whole great reset, all right, it is to reset everything on this planet. All right, this level. Right, so that their new system, all right, their NWO can be manifested. They're trying to do out with the old and in with the new.
Revelation 13:15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
God, hey, if you won't bow your knee, all right, if you won't adhere to this image, all right, to this NWO, all right, there's going to be an issue. All right, there's going to be an issue for you. All right, because through Salakia, this depopulation that they want to do. All right, Georgia Guidestones, the water. All right, so if you're not adhering, all right, not only do they have a particular people who they want to get rid of, all right, who are wasteless eaters, all right, who don't contribute to anything. It is a certain people that they put under that dynamic, all right, which is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Because we saw, as ran the resources from this world dry,
God.
So their game plan, is to thin out the population so that they can continue gorging and consuming and living the lavish lifestyle that they do.
Hey, it's herd control.
Right. This place ain't big enough. Their mentality is this place ain't big enough for the both of us.
Right.
For all of us. So we have to take measures into our own hands. We have to, pretty much
do what we need to do.
right. Do what we need to do, which means to just continue some ongoing processes.
These ongoing wasteless eaters.
Right.
All right. And if they so happen to be in certain neighborhoods or fit a certain demographic, well, even better.
Because they're ultimately against, they're against it.
God. All right. They're going to continue to do this as they see fit. All right. And ultimately, because it is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's sword. All right. Matter of fact, pull Zechariah right quick. God.
Zechariah 13:8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, said Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. But
2 parts shall be there and cut off and die. 2/3 of the nation of Israel. All right. 2/3 of the nation of Israel will be cut off and die. Will die. All right. You will perish through famine, through the sword. All right. You will not exist through wild beasts. That goes for you, your children, your newborn baby, your grandma, your grandpa. All right. This is a state of everybody can get it through the will and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And there's only 1/3 who are going to be exempt. Go ahead and continue and read that.
But the third shall be left therein.
The 1/3 shall be left therein. Otherwise, all right, otherwise for the nation of Israel, hey, you're going to be done away with. All right? God.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Hamashiach. But with many of them the power was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness.
Cloud, all right, cloud was that chariot, a so-called UFO or so-called UAP, all right, that allowed us to make it safely through the passage while Pharaoh was following us, all right, going through the sea, all right. When Moses parted that sea through the will and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, all right, it wasn't Moses who did it himself. All right. You have more on that? God.
Verse 6. Now these things were our examples, to the intent we should not lust after evil things, all as they also lusted. Neither be idolaters, as were some of them, as it is written, the people sat down and eat and drink and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000. Neither let us tempt Hamashiach, as some of them also tempted and were destroyed of serpents.
Oh, hey, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is not a power to be played with. All right. And you 2/3 will learn that. You will learn it by death, by pain. You other nations will learn it as well. All right. Because salvation is not for you. If you're not of the nation of Israel and of that 1/3, it is not for you. All right. Ultimately, the ultimate salvation of the kingdom of heaven is for the entirety of Israel. But to be of that Bayasha Dabadad, all right, that first go around, to be delivered by the so-called UFOs or so-called UAPs, which are the chariots of Israel, all right, you have to be of that 1/3.
The MOTB, that's going to be the ultimate fornication.
God.
That ultimate deal with with the left hand side.
God,
You're gonna get marked for that. That's gonna be a mark of destruction.
God,
You putting a target on your head. When you take that.
putting that charagma.
Right.
All right. So, hey, there is nothing that is going to be able to exempt you out of it.
Right. And these the current things that are going out right now. They're gearing you up to be looking for. Read that last scripture again. Huh? Corinthians, you're in 10 and something.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse. Oh, okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 9. Neither let us tempt Hamashiach as soon. Two up. 8 and 7. Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 7. Neither be idolaters as were some of them, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication as some of them committed and fell in one day 23,000. Neither let us tempt Hamashiach as some of them also tempted and were destroyed of serpents.
Right, so this the MOTB that charagma is being exalted, or is being it's going to be idolized.
God,
because it's doing it's performing those miracles. It's giving you the platform, to fuck you, to be, who you want to be.
God, things.
Right. To do what you want to do freely. Like you could see, like the brother brought out, a couple weeks ago, that one chick got gang raped on Metaverse, right? Well, that's because these devils, and these perverts out there, they want to do that. Those moles out there, living in Esau's land. That's what they would be doing on the streets when the police wouldn't be out. If they didn't have to live by the consequences of these laws, of the laws of this land, they would be doing all sorts of abominable shit that they already don't do.
Hey, and matter of fact, the whole virtual reality or metaverse is without law right now. All right, there's no law. It is really Aleister Crowley's "Do as Thy Will." All right, this is a system that is not yet set up. The only thing that they have a law for is, and that they just now creating a law for, is the currency portion, because that's really all that they care about.
Right, they only care about the money right now until it start affecting people so much that there's a cry out for, oh, we need to censor this stuff. It's getting too, because people got their kids on there. There's, next year, Lord willing, we don't make it to next year, but it's going to be the hottest selling thing at what you call Christmas,
Right.
On your wicked holidays, So, don't get confused. Though these devices that they're making are being idolized, and that's all to their downfall. It's all for marking up the destruction, because when it comes out that, okay, now you're gonna have to put this chip in your head, to get the metaverse, people gonna run to it.
God.
Because they want to go back to that lifestyle. There's this I was watching Batman Beyond, and there's an episode in there where pretty much one of the villains, he has them hooked to this new virtual reality game, and after they get out of it, they on they're fiending to get back, because it pursues their dreams of what they really want to do.
Right, and that's their whole marketing scheme right now.
Right.
All right.
It feeds those
desires,
those desires of the flesh. It puts them in a happy place. Like a drug do.
Hey, speaking of Batman, it goes back to what is it? Batman Forever with the Riddler. All right.
Right.
Yeah, it's the box. All right. At first, it was the TV. All right, television.
Right. Now it's more. It's even more direct. Because their weaponry has got advanced over the years. So now they're turning up their their sword, you know,
Right.
their
And
swords being furbished.
God, hey, that frequency is changing.
Hey, and then they go to another episode where they caught like a different villain, and the police had that villain hooked up to the same machine, and he's out there. The police are looking at the villain like, what is he smiling about? And they show what's in the villain's head, and he's fucking up the whole city.
Hey,
You know,
that's Virtuosity. All right, the old movie Virtuosity. That's yeah, Johnny Mnemonic with Keanu Reeves. That's the Matrix. All right, Player One indefinitely. Right, you know all these are predictive programming. All right, it's your acceptance. It's getting you to start accepting, to notice these things. Hey, I've seen this before. Hey, I think so. I think I may. Hey, you know, these are miracles that will be performed.
because when you see those things and you're not in the truth, you're like, oh, that would be cool to be able to do that.
Right.
You know.
Total Recall. What is it? Universal Soldier. All right. Hey, G.I. Joe. All right.
Toy Soldiers. Talking about Universal Soldier.
Yeah, but there's another where they had these little toys that were attacking people.
Yeah, that was Toy Soldier.
Yeah, that was Toy Soldiers. Hey, that's that's the devices.
That's like those little robot dogs.
Right. That's the devices. They made that movie. That was a good point because they made that movie to show you that hey, anything can be weaponized. Your very toy is a weapon. Hey, what is it called? The Oculus? That hey, she got gang raped in her mind. She really got mind fucked. This is the first account where you say, "Oh man, that fucked my mind up." Hey, this is the first real account where that actually happened.
Now living with the trauma,
right, of being gang raped.
Victim of rape, and it didn't even happen to her. So now, you know, with that being, and I'm sure that they're already using that, you know, that same, you know, the same thing to okay, now they know that this affects you,
in this way.
Outside of it. So what more type of things are they going to put in there? So when you get out of there and you in the real world, you know, they're increasing their control.
God,
you know, because when they start putting you in, when they start advertisements and things of that nature on there, you know, you're gonna be brainwashed.
John, you said, hey, all this is the MOTB. All this is the MOTB, and this is the lead up. Slack is the lead up to the MOTB. All right, that's why you got grandma in a sex room, you know, blowing whoever she wanted to blow. All right, with virtual reality. All right, and enjoying herself. Right. Oh,
it don't matter how old you are.
Right, going to show you, old or young.
Right. That's why I try to respect no person because it doesn't matter who or what you are. You know, the sin is still there.
God, hey, that's why no sin is greater than another. All right, sin is sin.
It doesn't matter who you are. You know, all sin looks the same from the top, right?
God. Right.
It's like buildings. You know, when you look at buildings from a bird's eye view, you know, they're all the same height.
James 2:10. For whoever shall keep the whole law and yet offer in one point, he is guilty of all.
If you don't keep the whole law, you're guilty of all. That's why we can't be saved by the law.
At one point, you know, you committed sin of all the
God.
all of them.
That's why it's to be perfect.
You know, that's why we need Yahweh Shah.
God, what is it? Be ye perfect, as I am perfect.
Right.
All right.
That's why I can't stand when those Christians say that suicide is the greatest sin.
Right. That goes back into what's that? Is that Leviticus? You know, if you
11 and 44.
Oh no, but if you touch, no, it's not. But be perfect as I am.
No, it's in Leviticus.
But you know, if you touch, you know, a dead animal, you know, what's good of washing your hands if you just gonna go back and touch it, you know?
Right. So, all right, go ahead and finish that. Revelation.
Slipped out my hand. Okay, this is Revelation 13 and 16, and it causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the charagma in their right hand or in their forehead.
All right, that's why you have a Neuralink. All right, even though it's in the top of your head, isn't it behind your forehead? All right, you have the charagma, which can go anywhere, but typically it's in the right hand. Why?
You know, it's like they got it in you know, what's that called, pacemakers now.
God.
You know? Getting those installed. I just seen a one for diabetes. You know, because they used to have that big you know, my cousin used to have one. It's a big like belt that they wear, and it just pushes insulin in you.
Yep.
You know, so you don't gotta keep on track with it. Well, now they got a chip for that.
Right, that regulates it.
They got a so you don't gotta use the blood what is that called?
The
Glucose monitor, where you take your a sample of your blood. You gotta keep on pricking yourself, and then to check your sugar. You know, they got a chip in your arm, and you just put your phone right there. It's connected to the app now.
Right.
You know, those are part of the miracles.
Right. Hey, the being able to text with no hands. All right. No speech. Being able to do it out of your mind. Hey, a monkey can play Pog or whatever that game was.
Oh,
Pog.
that's gonna work.
Yeah. That's a little bit before mine. Just a little bit. What'd you say, Slocket?
Said Pong, like two.
And show the people that even them doing that pentacharagma on an animal, that they can still control that, use that as a weapon.
Didn't Elon Musk have? He's been testing his on pigs before.
Right. He had it on pigs, and the very movement and everything, it calculated everything. All right. The whole thought process, the processing of the thought was there. All right. Before the action went, it already went ahead and calculated that thought. All right. So if they can calculate the thought before, how much more are they going to do if they want to control the masses?
And then think about, you know, how they did with these incentives for this pestilence that we're currently experiencing. You know, they're gonna be giving it to you with a little bit extra,
God.
or they're just gonna cut everything off.
Right.
You know, it's gonna be one or the other,
Hey,
and they'll have extra.
Hey, they're going to do
They'll
both.
still have incentives.
They're going to do both. At first, they're going to try to give you an incentive. All right. And after the incentive don't work, hey, they're going to cut it off and then starve you out.
So now you're gonna have to take it, and you ain't gonna get that bonus.
Right. If you want to be put back to what you had in your account prior, right, you're going to need to take this.
You ain't gonna get that.
It's not going to be the whole thing because right.
Free donut from Krispy Kreme.
Right. You're not going to get a free beer. All right. Free beer and $500. You know.
You ain't gonna get that lottery ticket that they were giving out. Corral West State was doing that.
Right. Go ahead, finish that, and then let's go on to Gentiles. Go ahead.
Now this is Revelation 13 and 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
Right. He that have that charagma. All right, or the number of his name. All right, you won't be able to buy, sell, or trade. All right. So there is nothing. Hey, we're coming to a time where there there is nothing that can be done but that is permitted to be done as as this current ruler wants it done. And Esau, Edom. All right, his system. All right, the great reset thereof. All right, it's that new program. as the Matrix. All right, it's a new program. Morpheus was new. All right, yeah, he had a new look about himself. Why? Because it was a new program. He didn't make it out of the Matrix. He was a part of the Matrix.
Okay, you want me to grab Psalms?
God.
No, this is Psalms 19 and 1. It says, the heavens declare the glory of the Most High, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words at the end of the world. In them he has set a tabernacle for the sun.
Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has his word going out through the entire planet once again. All right, to feed his sheep day and night. All right, this speech is uttered. You can go anywhere on the platforms, especially YouTube platform. All right, and hear the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Day and night, there's always a new video posted. You can't keep up with the amount of videos that are posted. All right, you can't keep up with the word. All right, because the word is forever coming out and forever evolving if it's the true doctrine and it's true state. Hey, and even false prophets are out there. All right, even false prophets are calling on the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Abba Ratazah, we be not those men.
Deuteronomy 32 and 2 says, my doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as a small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass.
God, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai said his doctrine will drop down as rain. All right, where does rain hit and where does dew fall? All right, if rain hits the ground, where does it hit? Everywhere that it's raining. And as dew, guess what? Dew, you don't even need a cloud to have, you don't even need to have rain clouds to have dew. All right? Because before there was rain, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai watered the earth with the dew of heaven. All right? Blades of grass wake up in that foggy mist. All right? Watering everything. Going to show you that, hey, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, his word has everything covered. All right, his prophecy, his word has everything covered. That's why it won't return unto him void. Because everything's covered in every way, shape, and form. It's all covered. All right? Come on.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 12, verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the power, and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach.
God, and his testimony, the testimony that's being spoken of, is this word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right? And that dragon that was wroth is, hey, these other nations, but chiefly Esau, Edom. Okay? That is wroth. That continues this rough state with the nation of Israel. All right, but they will have to answer and pay for that through the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai at his time. All right, at his say so. We do not take it upon ourselves. All right.
This is Romans 10 and 14. It says, how then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher.
God, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has the men out on the highways and byways. All right, starting with Apostle Tahar on down, and those brothers who are teaching that same doctrine. All right, Abaratazah, we be those men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, continuing in the faith and in the will and in the walk, enduring thou chastising like a good soldier. All right, being brought to this lower estate. All right.
Verse 15. And how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things.
God, hey, how beautiful are the feet of those brothers who are out on the highways and byways proclaiming and preaching the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, that are doing it in truth and sincerity and honesty. All right, that there be no guile found in their mouth. All right. No, you can continue on that. All right, but before you get that, let me get this precept. Hey, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 38. Slaki, I'm gonna start at verse 36. Slaki, Wynn took my page. 37. All right. This is book of Matthew, chapter 10 and 37, and it reads, "He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me." Verse 38. "And he that taketh not his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life, he that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it." All right. So if you are proclaiming the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, giving up the fashions of this world, all right, giving up your what is the word I'm looking for? Giving up your love for this queendom, all right, giving up the spirit of do as thy will.
Lust of this flesh.
God, the lust of the flesh. All right. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said you have to give up father, mother, daughter, son, brother, sister. All right. Give up everything for my name's sake. And if you shall lose your life, all right, if you shall lose your physical life, all right, physically, or if you shall lose your life financially, all right, if you don't fit in with the world, if you're an outcast of the world, if you can't partake in this world, if mandates don't allow you to partake in the things of this world, if you shall lose your life and the pleasures of life, you shall find your life.
It's the question of what are you willing to sacrifice, to gain immortality,
God.
or to gain the riches of the kingdom, what are you willing to give up?
Says bear your cross. That's a cross each and every day. All right.
And with the knowledge and wisdom, we gonna get that friend back that don't adhere to the word,
God.
but it's gonna be in their right mind. So we're losing them on this side, but he's still gonna come back. Your brother, he's still gonna come back.
Right. Hey, your mother, your sons, and your daughters will still come back. Hey, and guess what? If it be of the nation of Esau, Edom, all right, they're gonna come back as slaves, just like every other nation. But after 1,000 years, they're gonna be done away. But if you have a Moabite friend or whatnot, they're gonna be back and they're gonna be in their right mind. All right, you'll have them as servitude unto you. All right, you may take favor upon that house as it's supposed to be.
You'll find this hot sister as a concubine, or
Right.
whatever. You know?
Hey, he'd be a tribute and a dignitary of the rule of your house. All right. He pushes forth the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai to his nation through you.
That's why, it says that, your kingdom will inherit a temple, So these things that we lose, we're not really losing them. It's just they're gonna be brought back in a
Righteous state.
In a righteous state, and it's gonna be brought back in its fullness.
God. And in order.
It's gonna be greater than what it was on this side.
God.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 11.
Read that slide. I'm just making sure. Go ahead.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 5. The blind receive their sight, and the lame walk. The lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear. The dead are raised up, and the poor have the gospel preached to them. And blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me.
God. Blessed is he whoever is not offended in me. All right. Offended in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Blessed is he who's not offended of hearing the word. Hey, even the heathens are blessed. All right. They hear the word and accept their judgment. Just as the brothers were talking about earlier, the white guy said, the Edomite saying, can I be an inside? Don't put me in the field. All right. That's a certain amount of accepting his judgment. All right. If he goes back to Esau, Edom. All right. He accepts that judgment and says, you know what? Well, right is right. Right is right. We did do that. But I'm just asking, can I not get that scepter over my head so much?
He was in the room whooping himself with the belt. That's the realization of the Gentiles coming, realizing of who they are in this thing.
God.
Every tribe.
Right. He whoops himself 12 times, one for each tribe.
Hey, and your women of your nations will seek to be concubines. All right, so they can have it a little bit easier, living a little bit more lavish. All right, be a servant unto the women of Israel. All right. It's all about order. All right, it's the order of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You can not like it and agree with it, not agree with it. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai don't care. And being on one accord, we don't care either. All right. Todd, I think you got one more on that. Oh, all right. We'll just move on. All right. But we know. All right. There's a famine coming. All right, and it's not only a famine of bread, but it is a famine of the word, where you're not going to be able to hear this word. Men are going to be taken off the highways and byways. Your platforms, your YouTubes, your any other platform that brothers are on, TikTok or whatever, is going to be gone. Right? You're not going to be able to hear this word. Right? But you're going to wander about and remember, hey, I remember those guys. I wonder if they're still over there. Nope. And if you see us, you won't have the luxury to speak to us. All right? Because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is going to take that luxury away from you. All right? You got a precept?
Did you send that video saying that the technology and stuff's not going to work?
I said that.
You sent that?
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Yeah. Technology is not going to work.
Pretty much it's gonna, the system's gonna shut down.
Right. Hey, it's like a EMP is gonna hit the system. Right.
It talks about Russia. a cyber attack?
Yeah,
cyber attack. And that's completely possible because that's when you go when you look up like
last year what happened to the gas?
right. That's an example of that. Even taking it back to Snowden.
Yep.
These at any time that another country hacks America, because we're not as advanced in that area as other nations now.
Right. We're not unhackable.
I think India might be the strongest in that or something like that.
Russia, their specialty is cyber.
Right. That's who got Snowden. That's where Snowden at. He can't even come into the U.S. no more because he put Obama and the U.S. government on blast.
God.
He tried to come over here. They gonna kill him.
Right. Hey, but it don't matter. Essentially, this is all this system falling.
Yeah, they're gonna take him to Guantanamo Bay. But that's a part. That's the not being able to use the electronics and that's gonna be part of the famine.
Right.
Of this famine of the word. That's gonna help. Cut people off from this truth.
Hey, and that, on top of it, why do you think this market, all right, this great reset is going digital? All right. Why are they allowing more people to work from home than ever? All right, because now they're closing those buildings down. All right, and when they close those buildings down, guess what? When that's complete to an extent, all right, they're gonna take away those jobs. All right, hey, we're gonna have to what is it called? Furlough you.
Right.
All right, we're gonna furlough you. Why? Because it'll be more profitable and beneficial to these companies to be a part of that great reset. All right, to get a new workforce that doesn't have sick days, that doesn't need vacations.
They don't have AI doing most of your hard labor.
God. So they're gonna furlough you. Hey, we're gonna give you. It's easier to give you at that time. I can give all my so-called employees, my so-called employees, all right, which is a slave. You're nothing but a slave. I'm gonna go ahead and furlough you I'm gonna give you 6 months, right? But 6 months ain't gonna mean shit if you're lucky to get furloughed, all right? Because inflation, hyperinflation, all right? So what is 6 months of your current pay when things have tripled in value? All right, when 3 pounds of beef costs $37. All right, it ain't shit. It ain't shit. All right, not knowing that you understanding that you still got to pay lights. Lights are gonna go up. Gas is gonna go up. Hey, you might try to sell that car. Guess what? That car is not gonna sell. Why? Because ain't nobody got no money. Right. You gonna try to sell your house? Sell your house to who? Where you gonna stay on top of that?
Because like it is now, everybody's trying to flip their house. But the cost of buying a house is so much more expensive as well.
God. All right. Hey, and if you're trying to sell your house and get certain places, certain of these places, most places are mandating that you have certain things to live there. All right, most places are mandating that you have to have certain things to live in this complex. You got to have what you got to have. Read between the lines. All right, Icky Vicky. All right. Let's go to Matthew 28. All right. But Yahweh Shemi Awashai, all right, has a particular people. All right. He has the men out on the highways and byways professing and preaching this doctrine unto his nation. All right. The nations being those whose father's line goes back to a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American. All right. And the speckled bird. Matter of fact, Darash, get the heritage. My heritage is as a speckled bird. All right, read that before we hit 28. Lock it, my allergy. Like,
Jeremiah 12.
God. I just started. I'm thinking of that. Now I gotta listen to the song. I just got that out of my head.
Repetition. I don't know where exactly it's at. I know it's at the top. I think like 3 or 2.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 12. Chapter 12, verse 7. Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 7. I have forsaken mine house, I have left mine heritage. I have given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hand of her enemies.
So Yahweh Hashem Yahushua gave his dearly beloved, his heritage, all right, his nation into the hands of his enemies, all right, which is chiefly Esau, Edom, and these other nations.
Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You know, Esau didn't have to work for this.
God,
It was given to him.
right.
It was served.
On the silver platter.
Served up to him, you know, where he could just stroll up in there, you know, and put everybody under that yoke of iron, man.
God.
You didn't have to work for nothing.
Hey,
Yahweh Shem outside said, look, my people going off, man. This is what we're going to do.
right. Hey, pull that up in Deuteronomy 28.
The serpent to his tail, but
Yep.
what you know.
You can start at go to 46.
Where was it?
It is it 46 or select it?
Where's the to find it on the field?
Yeah, well, you can go to 36. 36 benefits. Yeah, because 36, and then, you know, if you go down, go to 36, read 36, and then drop down to 47, 48.
Deuteronomy 28 and 36 says, the Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other powers wood and stone.
Serve other powers, wood and stone. Hey, that's that Christianity of the cross pushed on us as a nation. All right, that's that traveling around that rock of Mecca. All right,
Even
Buddha
Catholicism has that rosary. You know,
and Catholicism with the rosary.
that's stone.
All right,
Got out of stone.
all these your what do they call it? Your crystal shamans, all right, worshiping Hinduism. All right, all these false religions. All right, all these false doctrines and this mixed wine. All right.
Yeah, this is a verse dropping down to verse 47. It's because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Thou shalt, therefore, shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and ye shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
God, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is the one who destroyed his nation. All right, he destroyed his nation for our disobedience.
Going back into the chastisement, which we was talking about earlier.
God. All right, Darash, read that from the beginning.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 12, verse 7. I have forsaken mine house, I have left mine heritage, I have given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hand of her enemies.
I have given the dearly beloved of thy soul unto my enemies. All right. Psalms, the sword, 17 and 13.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say is, who's that dearly beloved? Beloved, it means it's David, Dawadah, in Hebrew, means beloved. And the house of David is the elect.
God.
Okay.
He's gonna pull that right quick, and then continue.
This is Psalm 17 and 13. It says, "Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword."
Deliver thy soul from the wicked, which is the sword. All right, Daraj, start from the beginning. Salakia.
Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 7. I have forsaken mine house, I have left mine heritage, and have given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hand of her enemies. Verse 8. Mine heritage is unto me as a lion in the forest, it crieth out against me, therefore I have hated it. Have I hated it? Verse 9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird.
All right, as a speckled bird. Why? Because he scattered us amongst all the nations. All right, that's why you can look like a so-called Chinese man or woman. Why you can look like a so-called white man or woman. Why you can look like a so-called Arabic man or woman. Or anything else under the sun. All right? Yahweh Shimi Al-Shai has his heritage as a speckled bird. I think there's one more verse on that, right?
The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all, the beasts of the field come to devour. Verse 10. Many pastures have destroyed my vineyard. They have trodden my portion underfoot. They have made my pleasant portion a desolate wilderness.
God, all these other nations are against you. All right? Even though his heritage be as a speckled bird, all right? All these other nations, all right, that are heathen nations are against the nation of Israel. All right? You drop that? Oh, you good. Yeah. Yeah. Read it again.
This is Psalm 17 and 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword.
God, the soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. All right? That goes to show you exactly what Yahweh Shimi Al-Shai did to his people. All right, for their disobedience. Because once again, what's death to the Most High? Nothing but another day. All right, another judgment. Right.
Which is the sword. The wicked is the weapon. Ak, you know what Cain means in Hebrew? Cain. Like Cain and Abel. Like the name Cain goes back to? It goes back to you pulling it up, Dara? You bring it up.
She's still go.
Yeah. Okay.
Cain. Cain meaning possession.
It should go into weapon.
Weapon. In Hebrew. Spear. Spear.
Spear.
Right? The spear is a weapon.
It's a weapon.
Right? Hey, it was the spear. The spear. All right. What did they do to Yahweh Shai on the cross? The weapon. And it's symbolic because it was an actual soldier. But who was those soldiers? Who did they belong to? What nation?
Meaning spear.
All right.
So, the same thing.
Sword is a weapon. Spear. That's the root of the reincarnation of Cain was Esau. So,
God.
That's that same sword.
The name Abel. Back to Abal. Oh, Slakia. What's the name? But Abel goes back to the word breath.
Right. And what was given? What was given unto you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans? The breath of life, which is the word, which is essentially who? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Yahweh Shai unto the nation of Israel. All right. Hey, we can't do nothing without Yahweh Shai. Is he not the mediator between man and the Most High? That goes to prove that the breath is Yahweh Shai. All right. And what is this? What is his breath? Prophecy. Speaking the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Breathing and thinking and meditating upon him in his name. So you may receive eternal life.
Something backs that up. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 7. Then said I, Lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O power.
God, he comes in the volume of the book. That means he came in the Old Testament, the Apocrypha, and the New Testament. And guess what? To have something new, guess what he did? He referred it back to the Old Testament. What was Yahweh Shai speaking? Was he speaking the New Testament? No. He was speaking the Old Testament so the New Testament could come about. All right? All right, go ahead. Matthew 28. Oh, you got it. Yeah, he already got it. But you still got it. You can read it one more time. The speckled bird.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter.
I thought he dropped it. That's why.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 12, verse 7. I have forsaken mine house and left mine heritage. I have given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hand of her enemies. Verse 8, mine heritage is unto me as a lion in the forest. It crieth out against me, therefore have I hated it. Verse 9, mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour.
The birds around her about, which are the other nations, are against his heritage, all right, which are the considered the speckled bird, the Gentiles and the Gentile foreigners, all right. So those who don't adhere to the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, who knows that they are Israelites, all right, those false prophets prophesying in another name, Most High Christ, all right, and teaching false doctrine. All right, those who say Mark has, I don't care what Mark says. All right,
You don't get to pick and choose.
exactly. He said, I come in the volume of the book. All right, saying John the Baptist was not a prophet. All right, that Cornelius is an Edomite. All right, amongst a multitude of abominable speech. All right, saying that Yahweh Shai, you don't need to worship Yahweh Shai. You are fucking delusional. All right, and Yahweh Shai is gonna come down and visit you. All right. God. Hey, if his son's name wasn't important, why did he ask the question? Why did he ask the question if his son's name wasn't important? What is his name and what is his son's name? What did he say? Just because?
This is Matthew 28, verse 19. I'm going to start at 18. And Yahushua came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth.
Wait a minute. If all power was given to who? Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, all right? It was given to him by who? It was given to him by who the world ignorantly calls God, all right, which is Yahweh. So if Yahweh gave all power to Yahweh Shai of all the earth, well, let's go ahead and read that again.
Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit.
Who baptized it? Read that whole thing in its entirety again. I'm sorry. Yeah. Let's get this point first.
We're going to start at 18.
Yeah, start at 18.
And Yahushua came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth.
All power is given unto Yahushua in heaven and in earth. All right, all power. It didn't say some power. It said all power was given unto him. All right, go ahead.
Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit.
Go and teach all nations. All right, and be baptized in the name of the Father and the Son, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.
Teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you, and lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Amen.
God, and command and everything that is written in what? The volume of the book. Everything that he came to say in the volume of the book. All right? Everything. Not once again, as the brother said, picking and choosing what you want to teach.
What you feel is right, or what you like.
Yeah, what you like this week. All right, what's the flavor of the week or the flavor of the month? How can you increase your sales?
Right.
All right. Matter of fact. Okay.
This is the book of Tobit, chapter 13 and verse 3. It says, confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he hath scattered us among them.
God, confess ye before him, before the Gentiles. All right. And that's both. Confess him before the Gentiles and the Gentile foreigners. All right. Who are of the nation of Israel, whose father's line goes back to a so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. All right. Whose father's line goes back to a so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American.
And that's why, Hosea, it talks about Israel as the sand of the sea.
Right.
And we're scattered, everywhere. That's why you got, dudes like Alex Caruso, dunking on people's heads.
Right.
You got the Larry Birds and
Exodus 23 and 20.
The Bruce Lees. Those are all Jake.
Right.
Because Jake is that creme de la creme, the best of the best when it comes to being able to do stuff.
Right. Hey, that's why you what is it? You got his name just slipped my mind, just like that. What is it? Jason Statham? Statham. Statham. The martial artist. Statham. Yeah. Yeah, transporter dude. Hey, that's a Jake. That's a Jake.
The way he moves, the way he does it, just
Justin Timberlake, that's a Jake. Yeah, Jake. Eminem, Justin Bieber. All right, those are Jakes. They take the world by storm. Exodus 23 and 20.
Exodus chapter 23, verse 20. Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Verse 21, beware of him and obey his voice, provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him.
My name is in him. Well, there goes to prove once again, Yahushua is in the Old Testament. All right? Because what is thy name and what is thy son's name? All right. But the volume of the book to teach what has been given out of this book. All right. Read the last verse of 28 again for me. Matthew 28.
It's Matthew 28:20. It says, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I commanded you, and lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Amen.
So commanded who? The Gentile foreigners, the nation of Israel. All right. And what is the account? What is the account where it was told that Salakia, that Saul, all right, who was surnamed Paul, all right, to do? What was his job to do? Can brother get the account? Got it? Where Saul was. Yep.
Book of Acts, chapter 8, verse. Okay,
That's right. Drop that.
okay.
Go to Micah for me. Go to Micah 4 and 7.
Okay, hold on. I think it's
Micah 4:7 says, and I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast far off a strong nation, and the Lord shall reign over them in the Mount Zion from henceforth even forever.
I think I told you.
it's the book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 9. Says, then Saul, who also is called Paul, filled with the Holy Spirit, set his eyes on him, and said, O full of all subtlety and all mischief, thou child of the devil, thou enemy of all righteousness, wilt thou not cease to pervert the right ways of the Lord?
I got it. That's tough. No, we're actually staying on the Gentiles. It was Micah. Okay. Yeah, it was Micah. It goes into Jacob and the Gentiles. It was okay. Yeah, Micah 5 and 7. Salakia.
So this is Micah 5 and verse 7. says, and the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people as a dew from the Lord, as the showers upon the grass that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of men.
So Yahweh Shem Yahushai has once again the nation of Israel spread into many nations. All right, and
Going back into the Great Commission, that was part of Yahweh. That was one of Yahushai's, besides being the main sacrifice for Israelites, was to put in order out that the Gentiles were a part of Israel. The Gentile foreigners. His father's line went back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So that was one of his main priorities.
God, because Slakia, the ministry of John the Baptist, Slakia, of John the Baptist was to bring out the coming, all right, to bring out the coming of Yahushai, all right. But when Yahushai came and he came on the scene, his ministry was now to do what? To call back the children of Israel, all right. And then Salakia, and then he called back the whole nation of Israel, all right, reaching out into the Gentile foreigners, all right. They'll get the account. God.
This is Micah 5:8. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who if he go through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver.
Oh. Hey, none can deliver the nation of Israel but Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right? But Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And there was the account. Matter of fact, let's go on the account of Cornelius. All right? And let's start at Acts. Let's start at, let's go to 13. Start at 12.
10.
10 and 12. It's like it. Start at 10 and 10.
This is the book of Acts 10, verse 10. It says that he became. You want me to start at 10? Or?
Start at 11.
Book of Acts, chapter 10 and verse 11. And saw heaven opened, and a certain vessel descending unto him, as it had been a great sheet, knit at the four corners, and let down to the earth.
Sorry, continue.
Wherein were all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air.
Slakia. It's 21. Slakia.
Go down.
Yeah, go down to 21.
John, this is Acts 10 and 21. Then Peter went down to the men which were sent unto him from Cornelius, and said, Behold, I am he whom ye seek. What is the cause wherefore ye are come?
God. So Cornelius actually sent men, all right, because he had a vision. He had a vision that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai had given unto him. All right. And he had to go, he had a vision to go unto Peter to get this interpretation of this vision. All right.
Verse 22, and they said, Cornelius the centurion, a just man, and one that feareth the Most High, and of a good report among all the nation of the Jews, was warned from the Most High by an holy angel to send for thee into his house, and to hear words of thee.
God. So Cornelius was had to be an Israelite, right? All right, because he was warned, right? And it's going to go further to explain. He was warned. Why? All right, go ahead.
Then called he them in and lodged them. And on the morrow Peter went away with them, and certain brethren from Joppa accompanied him. And the morrow after they entered into Caesarea, and Cornelius waited for him, and they had called together his kinsmen and near friends.
God called together his kinsmen, which would be his family, all right, those of his nation, all right, his kinsmen and his near friends, all right, and his friends. Hey, and you know it had to be the nation, people of the nation of Israel, because it was not permitted for us to have other nations in amongst us, all right, especially in our dwelling places, all right, in our households.
Verse 25, and as Peter was coming in, Cornelius met him and fell down at his feet and worshipped him. But Peter took him up, saying, Stand up, I myself also am a man. And as he talked with him, he went in and found many that were come together.
God found many that were come together. So there was many here to hear this word, all right? Many here to hear this word. Let me see my phone. There was many to hear the word, the words in the dream of this interpretation, all right?
Verse 28, and he said unto them, Ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation. But the Most High have showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean.
God, read that again. Once again, it was an unlawful thing. All right, it was not lawful to have men of other nation amongst you.
This is verse 28. It says, and he said unto them, Ye know how that it is a unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation. But the Most High have showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean. Now, this is going back into that dream that he had, with those four-footed beasts, and that white sheep, that was the truth being spread throughout the four corners,
God,
the ends of the world.
God, showing that you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true children of Israel. All right, if your father's line goes back,
right, and then those beasts were in representation, of the Gentiles, the Gentile foreigners, the Israelites who scattered throughout the world through the curses, took on different features, causing them to be to have the features of another nation. But their father's line went back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Therefore, they could take part of the covenant. So I'm going to continue on. In verse 29, it says, Therefore I came unto you without gainsaying, as soon as I was sent for. I asked, therefore, what intent ye have sent for me? And Cornelius said, 4 days ago I was fasting until this hour, and at the 9th hour I prayed in my house, and behold, a man stood before me in bright clothing.
God, go ahead.
And said, Cornelius, thy prayer is heard, and thy alms are had in remembrance in the sight of the Most High.
God, thy alms are had in the sight of the Most High. All right, and he had Peter. All right, Peter, which was the head apostle. All right, to go on to Cornelius. Matter of fact, Darash, go ahead and go to Acts 9. Start from the top.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 9, verse 1. And Saul, book of Acts, chapter 9, verse 1. And Saul, yet breathing out threatenings and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went unto the high priest, and desired of him letters to Damascus, to the synagogues, that if he found any of this way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them bound unto Jerusalem.
And this goes to show you the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai doesn't care who you are. All right? When you're of his nation, if he wants you to do his work, he's going to make it be done. You're going to do exactly what he wants you to do. Goes back to Jonah in the well. All right? You can't get away from prophesying if it is your duty and your job to prophesy. You can't get away from being a 2/3 if you were meant to be a 2/3. There is nothing that you could say or do. All right? Go ahead, continue.
Verse 3, and as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven. Verse 4, and he fell to the earth, and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? 5, and he said, Who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Yahushai, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks.
I am Yahushai, whom thou persecutest. All right? That you speak bad of. All right? That you're slaying the men of our nation. All right? You're slaying the men, women, and children of our nation. All right? His heritage is unto a speckled bird. All right? Very well through the spirit. That's a Jake. All right? Continue.
Verse 6, and he trembled and astonished, said, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do.
Arise and go into to the city, and it shall be told what thou shalt do. All right? Go read 2 more verses, and then I want you to, after that, I want you to go to 11.
Verse 7, and the men which journeyed with him stood speechless, hearing a voice, but seeing no man. Verse 8, and Saul arose from the earth, and when his eyes were open, he saw no man, but they led him by the hand and brought him into Damascus.
Right, because Yahushua had took his vision. All right? He had took his vision, and he had to seek, and he had to go to a certain place. All right? To talk to a certain person. And this is all in the account. Matter of fact, start at 10.
Book of Acts, chapter 9, verse 10. And there was a certain disciple at Damascus named Ananias, and to him said the Lord in a vision, Ananias, and he said, Behold, I am here, Lord. 11, and the Lord said unto him, Arise, go into the street which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus, for behold, he prayeth. 12, and hath seen in a vision a man named Ananias coming in and putting his hand on him, that he might receive his sight.
All right, so this man is going to give Saul his sight back. All right, Yahweh, Yahushai. All right, Yahweh ordained Yahushai. All right, in all things under the heavens and it's like above the heavens to be subject unto him. All right, so Yahushai called out unto Saul. All right, and when he called out unto Saul, he said, Go here and get your sight. And then I'm going to tell you what I need you to do. All right, go ahead and continue.
Verse 13, then Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard by many of this man how much evil he hath done to thy saints at Jerusalem. And here he hath authority from the chief priest to bind all that call on thy name.
All right, because Saul was like a modern day marshal. All right, he can go to any district, any county, or whatever. He was a modern day U.S. Marshal. He could do anything because he had the law in his hand. All right. Yeah.
That was just one account of one of the the Christians, one of those followers of Yahushua, that Paul slave
God,
or was a part of their death,
part of the counsel of it. You can say that. Right. All right, go ahead.
Verse 15, but the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings.
So wait a minute. Read that from the top again.
Verse 15, but the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me.
So Yahweh Shai said, go thy way. He is a chosen vessel unto me. All right. He didn't ask for his approval. All right. He didn't ask, he asked not of his approval. He said, go thy way. Get your ass up and go. He's a chosen vessel unto me. He is who I choose to speak unto who? Go ahead.
To bear my name before the Gentiles.
Before the Gentiles, to the very Gentiles. All right? To the Gentiles. Go ahead and continue to read.
Kings and the children of Israel.
The children of Israel. All right? To the Gentiles, the children of Israel. Go ahead, continue.
16. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake.
Because for the atrocities that he has done to his own people, all right, the nation of Israel, these are the things you're going to have to do, and this is how you're going to have to suffer. This is how you're going to get back in my good graces. All right? You're already favored of me. All right? I favor you. But this is your chastisement, and this is your job now. You have to be outcasted and people not have to like you already from the shit that you did before. But I will make them find favor in you. Go ahead, continue.
Verse 17. Ananias went his way and entered into the house, and putting his hands on him, said, Brother Saul, the Lord.
Wait a minute. He said, brother Saul. All right, goes to show you that Saul, who was later surnamed Paul, all right, was an Israelite as well. Go ahead.
Brother Saul, the Lord, even Yahweh Shai, that appeared unto thee in the way as thou camest, hath sent me, that thou mightest receive thy sight and be filled with the Holy Spirit. And immediately there fell from his eyes as it had been scales, and he received sight forthwith, and arose and was baptized.
All right. So, Yahweh Shai had Saul, who was later surnamed Paul, baptized, all right, to receive the ministry. All right, so he could preach it unto who? The Gentiles. All right, matter of fact, just for edification, go back up to 15 and read 15 for me.
Acts chapter 9, back to 15, verse 15. But the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel.
All right, now go back to Cornelius. And I think you were on 29.
Yeah. This is Acts 10 and 32. It says, Send therefore to Joppa and call hither Simon, whose surname is Peter. He is lodged in the house of one Simon, a tanner by the seaside, who, when he cometh, shall speak unto thee. Immediately, therefore, I sent to thee, and thou hast well done that thou art come. Now, therefore, are we all things present before the Most High to hear all things that are commanded of thee, that are commanded thee of the Most High.
Wow.
Then Peter opened his mouth and said, Oh, of a truth, I perceive that the Most High is no respecter of persons.
God,
But
fuck it. Yahweh Bashim Yahshai is not a respecter of persons at all. All right. He doesn't, once again, as he said, Saul is a chosen vessel of me. All right. He didn't ask you for your opinion. He doesn't care. All right. He gave a job for him to do. All right. And this job is being done. We're going to continue to go into this. Go ahead. You can even.
verse 35,
Go ahead. No. Slakia. Go ahead.
verse 35, but in every nation he that feareth him and worketh righteousness is accepted with him. The word which Most High sent unto the children of Israel, preaching peace by Yahushua Mashiach, he is Lord of all.
There. Wait a minute. there goes another more proof, all right, that Yahushua is Lord over all. All right, once again.
Verse 37, that word I say ye know, which was published throughout all Judea, and began from Galilee after the baptism which John preached.
That baptism that John preached, right, was the coming of Yahushua. All right. But now, after the coming of Yahushua, behold, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. All right. Now here comes into the account where Yahushua is preaching and teaching in the synagogues, and his ministry is going out. All right. And the fulfillment of his ministry is to call back all the children of Israel. All right. Whether it be, if you know you're Israelite, if you're of his heritage, that speckled bird, all right, of his heritage, calling you back from being a Gentile, all right, living in these other lands, doing and following after these other doctrines, all right, being alienated from your heritage. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 38, how the Most High anointed Yahushua of Nazareth with the Holy Spirit and with power, who went about doing good and healing all that were oppressed of the devil, for the Most High was with
Fine. How about Shimei Yahushua was with them? All right. Matter of fact, go ahead and drop down to drop down to 44.
Verse 44, while while Peter yet spake these words, the Holy Spirit fell on all them which heard the word. And they of the circumcision which believed were astonished, as many as came with Peter, because that on the Gentiles also was poured out the gift of the Holy Spirit.
All right, so it was what was poured out? Who can receive the gift of the Holy Spirit? Only the nation of Israel. All right. To receive the gift, once again, go to Romans 9, 4, and 5.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and the promises.
So is not the service, all right, is not the service, once again, a gift, all right, and the service itself. Read that again, lock it.
Where did 44?
Yeah, 344.
Acts 10 and 44, while Peter yet spake these words, the Holy Spirit fell on them which heard the word. They believed, and they of the circumcision which believed were astonished, as many as came with Peter, because that on the Gentiles also poured out the gift of the Holy Spirit. For they heard, you want me to continue?
Yeah, go ahead, continue.
For they heard them speak with tongues and magnify the Most High. Then answered Peter, can any man forbid water, that these should not be baptized, which have received the Holy Spirit as well as we? And he commanded them to be baptized in the name of the Lord. Then prayed they him to tarry certain days.
All right. As a matter of fact, just to drive the point, go to Acts 13 and 46.
Acts 13 and 46, and it reads, then Paul and Barnabas waxed bold and said it was necessary that the word of the Most High should first have been spoken to you. But seeing ye put it from you, and judge yourselves unworthy of everlasting life, lo, we turn to the Gentiles.
Oh, we turn to the Gentiles. All right. I think there might be one more verse on that that could drive it in a little bit harder.
So verse 47, for so hath the Lord commanded us, saying, I have set thee to be a light of the Gentiles, that thou shouldest be for salvation unto the ends of the earth.
All right.
I'm going to continue on.
Yep.
And when the Gentiles heard this, they were glad and glorified the word of the Lord. And as many as were ordained to eternal life believed.
God. And we are those Gentiles. All right. We are those very Gentiles who didn't know the state that we were in. We didn't know that we were Israelites. We looked at ourselves as we were so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. Did not Psalms 83 say, let us cut them off from being a nation? How did they cut us off from being a nation? Changing all these laws and history. All right. Go, Darash, pull Acts 15. Start at 14.
Book of Acts, chapter 15, verse 14. Simeon hath declared how the power at the first did visit the Gentiles to take out of them a people for his name.
All right, continue.
And to this agree the words of the prophets as it is written, after this I will return and will build again the tabernacle of David, which is fallen down, and I will build again the ruins thereof, and I will set it up.
All right, continue.
17, that the residue of men might seek after the Lord, and all the Gentiles upon whom my name is called, saith the Lord.
Read that again.
Verse 17,
Speak up on it. Read it loud.
Acts 15 and 17, that the residue of men might seek after the Lord, and all the Gentiles upon whom my name is called, saith the Lord, who doeth all these things.
The residue of the Gentiles. The Gentiles. All right. We are those very Gentiles receiving the word that have received the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. Out here proclaiming the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Coming back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. Gone.
Verse 18, known unto the power are all his works from the beginning of the world. 19, wherefore my sentence is that we trouble not them which from among the Gentiles are turned to the power.
All right, so we have been turned to the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Go ahead and continue.
Verse 20, but that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions of idols, and from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood.
Continue.
For Moses of old time hath in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogues every Sabbath day.
All right, so Yahweh Bashem Yahushai proclaimed, all right, and brought back the nation of Israel in its entirety. All right, that the Gentiles would stop being filthy and living after the ways of the lands where they were scattered. Okay, following heathen customs. All right, committing abominable acts, praying to other gods. All right. And yeah, that's all I had on that. All right. Hey, it's Yahweh Bashem Yahushai who's bringing, all right, through Apostle Tahar on down, who's bringing the nation of Israel back, teaching the 144% doctrine, all right, giving all the truth, all right, and bringing it back out unto the world, all right, for the world, roughly paraphrasing scripture, for the world has been so long without truth, all right. Hey, this destruction is coming. It's coming. It's coming to a world, to this world, and this captivity. The world in its state right now. America will go down by thermonuclear fire. All right, and you're seeing it. Matter of fact, Slakia, let's get it's the book of Mark. I think it's Mark and 17. It's like it. Mark in 13, and then yeah, Mark 13, and then what verse? Huh?
What verse?
You can start at 2.
This is Mark 13:2. And Yahushua answering said unto him, seest thou these great buildings? There shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
God, hey, these great buildings, all right, whether it's the physical building or whether it's the building of the house of these nations, all right, there's not going to be anything left for this coming destruction of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, this righteous, this recompense.
Right.
All right. Matter of fact, go ahead and drop down, go to 5.
Verse, this is Mark 13:5. And Yahushua answering them began to say, take heed lest any man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and shall deceive many.
God shall deceive many. All right. And you see that deceive many. Many are trying to come in the name. That's why you got all these false prophets out here.
Right. Look at John, it says there will be many anti-Mashiachs,
God.
antichrists, these devils and false, pretty much antichrist is just anybody who goes against the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
Who's an adversary.
Right. So that could be, the false prophet, the, Esau, Edom.
The enemies.
Right.
Of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. His enemies are round about.
And what is being of the world is enmity with the Most High, right?
God.
So pretty much everybody else in this world, that's why the world hates you.
God.
Because they don't like they don't like Yahweh. They didn't like Yahweh Shai.
Hey, if the world hated you, know that it hated me before it hated you. God.
Book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 11. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake.
God, for his sake. That's why we go through what we go through, to glorify his name. Because the servant is not greater than the master. Go ahead and continue.
Verse 12. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
God. So the prophets that were before us were persecuted too. Why would you think anything would be any different in this time? All right? Because there is nothing new under the sun. All right? Go ahead and continue down on that.
Verse 13. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt has lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men.
Hey, to be cast out and trodden under the foot of men. And as matter of fact, I was talking to him, but that ain't fit. I was talking to keep going on that. But hey, if the salt has lost its flavor, all right. If what good are you? All right, there's no use for you.
When you're not doing the things that the Creator made you to do,
you're an adversary.
right?
Right, you were made to be the salt of the earth, to give the earth its flavor.
You're going contrary to the laws. That puts us right where we at now.
God.
That's what it set up. That chastisement, sins have withholding you from good things.
God. All right. Go ahead and go to 13 and 13 and 7.
This is Mark 13:7. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet.
Continue.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrow.
God, all these things are happening now. All right, nation rising against nation, diverse places, sorrow. All right, wars and rumors of wars and woes. All right, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, Yahweh is sending his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, back. All right, he's sending his only begotten son back to plead with this earth. All right, for the abominations of first and foremost that his own nation committed, 2/3, but chiefly Esau, Edom. All right, he said he would start in his house first. All right, so he's gonna clean his house up first, and then he's gonna get to Esau, Edom, and then all these other heathen nations. All right, and everybody's gonna get it. No respecter of persons. That means woman, man, child, infant. All right, toddler. Everybody's getting it.
It says, I'll come back with vengeance in his heart.
God. Drop down for me and just go to 32, read 32 to 37, then we'll go ahead and close out.
Matthew 13 and 32. But of that day, that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. Take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. For the Son of Man is a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch.
All right, so Yahweh Shai is coming back. All right, but he comes back when his father ordains him to come back. All right, and his father, hey, he gave us signs to watch for that. Hey, this is around the time where I'm gonna be back. These things are gonna happen before. All right, he is the master returning to the house. All right, he's returning to the house. He left the servants.
Left us in Torah.
Right.
That's why we're following his footsteps.
Come. All right, Abaratazah, we be those men. Continuing in the faith, in the structure that he has left for his nation. All right, and for his servants that are in the house. All right, to do his will. To do his work in the carnal sense, so you Jakes can get it saying it in a better way. Take care of my shit. Take care of my shit and make sure it's good. Don't let nobody fuck up my shit. All right? Yahweh is telling, Yahweh, the Most High, the Father, told his son, you're in charge and you're responsible. All right? I give this to you, but you got to keep it straight. He gave everything unto his son, his only begotten son. All right? But there is a way that it has to be kept. And this is the way to keep it. Go ahead and continue.
Verse 35, watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh at even, or at midnight, or at the cock crowing, or in the morning, lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping. And what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch.
God, yeah, how about Shem Yahushai? All right, Yahushai gave that warning. Continue. All right, continue to watch. Don't go back to sleep. Hey, don't get rocked back to sleep because the new Matrix has came out and you want to reload yourself into the Matrix. Don't get rocked back to sleep because these certain things, these mandates and everything is easing up in ways. Don't get rocked back to sleep. All right, because you want to be of this world. All right, because though it tarry, wait for it. All right.
It says that the servant found the blessed is the servant that is found doing. You know, when the master returns. All right.
Anybody got a precept? All right. Pull Deuteronomy 4 for me right quick. 4 and start at 4, and then we'll close out 4 through 6%. You got a precept? All right, go ahead with this precept.
This is the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 3. We are bound to thank the power always for you, brethren, as it is meet, because that your faith groweth exceedingly, and the charity of every one of you all toward each other aboundeth. So that we ourselves glory in you in the churches of the power for your patience and faith in all your persecutions and tribulations that ye endure, which is a manifest token of the righteous judgment of the power, that ye may be counted worthy of the kingdom of the Most High, for which ye also suffer.
So this is that work and that servant found working. All right. This is that letter. All right, that was written for exaltation unto the brothers out on the highways and byways, proclaiming and prophesying the downfall of this queendom and prophesying Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's word. All right.
Deuteronomy 4 and 4. It says, but ye that did cleave unto the Lord your power are alive every one of you this day. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
All right. And this is what Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has given unto his nation: the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the laws, statutes, and commandments, the covenant. All right. Ultimately, we will receive the law, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts. All right. But with that, hey, we want to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem HaKadosh. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to all the Akim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity, to the men, women, and children listening and learning, and to the Bayah Shadebadot, the house of David. Till the next time we say Shalom, Wad, Abal, Babal.